Welcome to the virtual classroom at the St. Louis Feldman Holocaust Museum. At the museum, we often get important questions about the Holocaust. What was it, and how did it happen? Today, we're going to be diving into the top 5 most common questions to help us better understand this topic. The Holocaust was the systematic, state-sponsored murder of 6 million European Jews by Nazi Germany and their collaborators between 1933 and 1945. This horrifying event stands as a grim testament to the dangers of unchecked hatred and bigotry. During the same time that the Nazis targeted Jews for mass annihilation, millions of others were also targeted in a widespread campaign of racial persecution and war. Groups such as the Roma and Sinti, commonly referred to as Gypsies, people with disabilities, the LGBTQ+ community, particularly gay men, Afro-Germans, Jehovah's Witnesses, and political dissidents were subjected to severe persecution and murder. The Holocaust was not only a genocide, but also a broader attempt to eradicate entire communities deemed undesirable by the Nazi regime. The Holocaust was fueled by Nazi racial ideology. The Nazis believed they were racially superior. This idea, combined with deep-rooted anti-Semitism, political instability following World War I, and economic hardship, created a perfect storm. However, it's critical to remember that the Holocaust occurred because individuals, groups, and governments made decisions that enabled it to happen. These choices, ranging from active participation to passive complicity, allowed for one of history's darkest chapters to unfold. It's a stark reminder of the consequences of inaction in the face of racism and hate. The world's response to the Holocaust was regrettably inadequate. Many countries, including the United States, rejected Jewish refugees, adhering to strict quota systems. This widespread indifference was not solely due to bureaucratic red tape, but also stemmed from deep-seated anti-Semitism that was prevalent across the globe, not just within Nazi Germany. It wasn't until January of 1944 that the United States established its War Refugee Board, an important effort that saved thousands of lives. But according to some, it came too little, too late. By early 1943, 75 to 80% of the 6 million Jewish victims of the Holocaust had already been murdered. The international community's failure to act sooner is a painful lesson in the importance of solidarity and intervention in times of humanitarian crises. The Nazis used a horrifying array of methods to enact the genocide. Camps and killing centers were established with the sole purpose of mass murder, some utilizing gas chambers for efficient mass killings. Beyond these, mass shootings, forced labor, starvation, and medical experiments were widespread. It's important to understand that the majority of Holocaust victims did not die in camps. They were murdered in their communities, in ghettos, or during death marches. The industrial scale and variety of methods used underscore the regime's total commitment to their genocidal policy. When we think about preventing future atrocities like the Holocaust, it really begins with education and memory. In the museum, we believe in honoring the memory of all of the victims and survivors of the Holocaust. We know that there were 6 million victims, but each one of them was a person, just like you and me. A person with a name, with a family, with a story. We honor those people by remembering them, by saying their names, but also understanding what happened to them. That they were murdered because of choices, the choices of human beings. By examining the choices of these perpetrators, we can get to the heart of future atrocities. We need to understand hate and counter it. We counter it by reaching out, by making a new friend, by trying a new experience, by creating a bigger world than just our classrooms or our communities. Through reaching out, but also through standing up and speaking out, that's how we prevent future atrocities. Thank you for joining us for today's lesson in the virtual classroom at the St. Louis Feldman Holocaust Museum.